Okay, so hello everyone. Welcome to our webinar on Website 101, Introduction and Live Training. And before we start with our presentation, we just want to take a moment and thank you guys for being here, both the sponsors and the attendees. We are so happy that you have decided to join us on this Tuesday. And okay, I'm just going to go ahead and start with the sponsors. I'm going to call them as I see them here on Zoom. So let's start with Brooke. Brooke, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself and your company?
Awesome. Thank you so much. So my name is Brooke. I'm with Southwest Elevator. We are a third generation family owned and operated elevator company. I'm actually the fourth generation stepping in, so we've been around for quite some time. We are a union company and we specialize in elevator maintenance, repair, and modernization. We're all throughout South Florida, so all tri-counties. We're in Orlando, Daytona area, and then also Tampa. So any elevator needs that you possibly have, I'll drop my info in the chat and feel free to reach out. Thanks.
Thank you so much, Brooke. Next is Cameron. Cameron, why don't you tell us a bit about your company?
How's it going, everybody? Thank you so much for coming today. My name is Cameron Andres. I do business development with Best Roofing. We're a commercial roofing contractor that's been in business for 47 years in the Tri-County area. We do any kind of roofing needs that you might have. So re-roofs, recoveries, repairs, preventative maintenance plans for both flat and sloped roofing. We do also offer complimentary roof audits. If you do want to get somebody out there to check out your roof, get you a price before hurricane season comes, be happy to do that. So thank you.
Thank you so much, Cameron. Okay, we're going to go ahead to Jessica. Jessica, please introduce yourself.
Hi, everyone. My name is Jessica with Sherwin-Williams. I work in the Palm Beach area helping properties and HOAs with repaints and maintenance painting as well. We do offer complimentary services when it comes to property assessments for your property. We also offer complimentary scopes of work as well as custom color renderings and scheme development. If you're not local in Palm Beach, please feel free to reach out and I can connect you with the HOA representative in your area as well. Thank you.
Thank you, Jessica. Okay, so guys, these are the sponsors that are on with us today, but we have many more sponsoring this webinar. We cannot do this without their help. But since they're not here to introduce themselves right now, you are going to find all of their information on the sponsor sheet that Peggy usually sends out after the webinar. So if you have any needs, you can just check the sponsor sheet. All of their info will be there. Okay, so before we start our presentation, before I introduce Laura, I'm just going to do a little bit of housekeeping. For any questions that you guys might have, please do drop them on the Q&A box and not the chat. We will be looking over the chat, but it can get a little messy there and we might miss your question. So please do put it on the Q&A because we're going to be really attentive to that. And yeah, that's it. Please enjoy our presentation. I'm going to pass the ball over to Laura, our account executive here at Vinteum, and she has a very special presentation for you guys.
Hi, everyone. Hope you're all doing great. My name is Laura. I am the sales executive here at Vinteum. And today I'll be showing you guys everything about the website, the requirements. And some of you, if your community is in Florida, are going to, probably some of you already are required to have this website. So I'm going to show you a little bit about it, also about the portal, what the differences are between them, how easy it's to, have a website and what good stuff that can bring to your community besides being compliant, obviously. So I'm gonna share my screen. Please let me know if you guys are able to see it. All good? Perfect. Okay, great. So for today's agenda, we're going to talk about a little bit of the Florida's new website requirements. Then we're going to go to transparency and why is this so fundamental for communities, whether it's, HOAs, condominiums, cooperatives, etc. I'm going to do a little intro on the website one-on-one, and then a live website training on how everything would work specifically with us, with Vinteum and our tools. And then obviously throughout this webinar and throughout this this presentation, you'll see how Vinteum can help your community or even your property management company, and how some of our customers are already also using our tools and using the website. So let's jump in. First off, the official record section of the House Bill 2021. So by January 1st of this year, condominiums were actually required to already count with a public-facing website and also a resident portal to post or share or keep important documents, official records, communications, meeting recordings, etc. I do want to point something out here, and it's the difference between a website, you guys, and a residence portal. Okay, so the website is basically a public-facing website, meaning a public-facing a public space where anybody, even outside the community, can get into this website, see the information of your community, of your condominium, get to know a little bit more about you guys, the amenities you guys have, how does it look like, everything. And then the portal, the residence portal, is the place where you guys will store, all important and probably sensitive documents, meaning financial records for last year, budget, the residence directory, communications for your residents, So it's really different. One thing is just a website, and the other thing, it's a portal. Okay. So why is it important to have a website for your community? So probably some of you have a property management company helping you guys out with the management of your community and so on. But then their website, it's their website. You know what I mean? So you as a community, especially as a condominium with more than 25 units, you need to have your own, right? Sometimes, let's say you want to switch from one company to another one, or maybe you want to go to be self-managed condominium at some point. When you do that, there's going to be, let's say a limbo where you guys are not going to have a website on your own because you relied on your property management company's website, and that it's not the same, and that's not what the House Bill it's about. It's about, being transparent. It's about having a website for your community and a space for your residents to be able to access important documents. Okay. So maybe some of you are not within the state of Florida, or maybe some of your communities might not be completely required to have this website or this portal, and that's okay. But still, transparency is very important. I have some questions here that I want you guys to ask, either if you're a board member or a property manager. So for example, for those communities or condominiums that have listings or rentals, right? Maybe some of you do. Whenever you want to attract potential buyers or potential people that wants to rent or any of your units, digital presence says a lot. A nice looking website shows a lot of your community, and it's also going to show how much you care about engaging with your residents. It's also going to work for you to be able to show potential buyers or people that are looking to live within your community, how does it look like, how we manage it, what kind of services do we have, what amenities do we have. Sometimes, and I know we might work hand to hand with real estate people that helps the communities on renting or selling the units. But then we've seen that a lot of the communities that work with us already see a lot of benefit on having a nice looking website to potential their sales and potential how potential buyers approach them. Okay. Not only that, but it's let's also ask ourselves, is our storage organized? When you guys have a portal for the residents, like the one I'm going to show you in just a few seconds, you're going to have everything in just one place. how many times maybe you have had a resident or a board member asking you about this specific document or that specific record or the meeting recording for the past 2 months, and it took a lot of time for you to, search for those papers. Maybe you have everything on paper in your office, or you have it all in your computer, but it's not in an organized way, or you have to find someone else's users to get into that information. That takes a lot of time. So when you have everything in just one place, like a portal, or let's say maybe a website, it's going to be more efficient, it's going to be more productive, and you're going to see a lot of value on how, little time you're going to take on those tasks.
Laura, I'm sorry, I'm just gonna cut you off there real quick as your
Hmm.
moderator. We have two questions in the chat. So can you please tell us again a little bit about the difference between having a website and a portal, and are both required? How is that? How does that work?
Yeah, so for condominiums, it is required to have a website and let's say protected portal for residents, especially for condominiums. We did have a webinar a few weeks ago where there was like a specific person, a lawyer, that told us a lot about like very specific things on this law. So I think we can go back to you specifically on that, you guys, right? But for condominiums, I know that it is a requirement to have a website and a portal. So the difference is the website is the public-facing website where anybody can be able to find you, your community, your listings, your rentals, the amenities you guys have, contact you guys if needed, etc. And then the portal is where you guys are gonna have that little, place that is gonna be more, let's say, private. So it's just gonna be for residents and administrators such as board members or a property manager. So that's it's going to be more of like a place that is only for people within the community. And in Vinteum, what we have is a password protected portal. So people will have like credentials, username, and password to be able to get access into this portal and have access to, again, financials, documents, recordings, etc. Yes, Peggy?
Okay, am I not echoing now?
No.
Okay.
No, you're good to go.
All right, so there has been a lot of conversation about this, whether you need a autonomous or an independent website versus using the portals. And it is deemed acceptable to use a portal. However, the point that Laura is making is if you do not have an independent or an autonomous website, if you do make a management change or you have specific things that you don't want your management company to see, private things, or if you want to make reservations for your events, if you want to do different things, the electronic voting, etc., you would need an independent, but it is acceptable. I don't want anybody to come back and say it was said that it was not acceptable, but using a portal from a management company has been deemed acceptable. And I just had this verified yesterday at a board certification class. However, I still want to say and stipulate, please consult your counsel for your association. Now, there seems to be amongst the attorneys some different opinions as well, but go with whatever your attorney is telling you that is for your association. So that's all I can say at this point. It's a little bit confusing, but I highly recommend, as a former VP of business development for a major management company in Central Florida or South Florida, that you get an independent site, because a lot of times the records are not turned over from one management company to another. Even though it's required by law, they're not always turned over. So this way you can keep everything in the cloud. You don't have to have it stored paper-wise anywhere as backup from the portal. And you can do this totally independently. That's it.
No, thank you very much, Peggy, for that. Yes, I also recommend you guys. There's a lot of very specific, very like detailed specifications for either condominiums, HOAs, cooperatives. It's very different for all of them. So, do a little bit deeper of a research to see what is going to be the specific requirements for your community. Okay.
Yes. Laura, sorry, before we move on
You have
again.
another one, right?
Yeah.
Sure.
Okay. let's just knock a couple of them and then we'll get back and then talk about the
Of
rest.
course.
Okay. So should the residence portal be only on the management company website? Is a question that we got.
So I know that some property management companies, they do have their own portals, like in-house built portals, or they either do that or they acquire services from another provider, and that's how they do it. So there's not really like a specific. You can either do it through your property management company, or your community can just acquire services from a provider, independently.
Okay, great. You can go ahead and we'll talk about the other ones in a second.
Okay, perfect. I'm gonna show you guys one of like a model of a website from one of our current customers. So you have an idea of how it would look like, or how does it look like, and how it's, working for them. So as you see, it goes very straight to the point, has some um, options here on the top, an about us section, some gallery here, so they can see, they can show the landscaping of the community. Some communities also like to put the address in there. You can also have some news section here. You can also show the services you have within your community. Social networks, a contact us section. So again, anybody from outside the community can contact you guys. You can show also the community, the amenities you have within your community. And that will be pretty much it for this model specifically. Now, as you see, there's a little button right here where residents will be able to access their portal. We won't be able to access this one because this one belongs to that specific community, but don't worry. I have a model here so that I can show you. So this is the model we have. It's like a community we built for this specific training. So if I were to access the portal from my website, this is specifically done here at Vinteum. I will just click here. I'm just gonna log in with my credentials. And I'm gonna log in as a master administrator. So if any of you is like a board member or a property manager, this is how you would log in into your portal. Obviously, as a master administrator, you would have more permissions than a resident profile, let's say. And you guys would ask, Laura, so who builds the website? So for example, if we choose Vinteum to do the website, the portal, who is going to build this website? Who is going to build the portal? That's going to be on us. We're going to build the website for you guys. You would obviously give us all the information you want to put in there. We would also set up the portal, the residence portal for you guys with all the residence information, the documentation, etc. But after that, we do provide a training on where you will know how to edit and customize things on the website for the future, which is incredibly simple. So you would go here as an administrator to your portal, and then you would go to where it says managers, then my site. And it's incredibly simple compared to most website providers are there where you feel like you have to be a graphic designer or a pro on designing to be able to switch or change things. Here is the most simple thing in the world. So for example, this is basically where you're going to manage everything on the website. So if you want to switch to colors or templates, you would just go right here, change the color, hit save, publish site, and it's good to go. So I'm just going to do a few things here so you see the differences. So for example, there are a few sections here in the top of the website. These are completely customizable and you can edit it at any time. So for example, these are right here, available sections, and you can choose which ones you want to have or which ones you don't. This is where you can upload the logo of your community, the background image. It's incredibly easy as well. An about us section that goes right here. And when you want to add or delete pictures, you just have to click here on this add button, and it will just direct you to the folders on your computer, so you can choose the pictures from there. And I know that some of you, again, have, let's say, rentals or listings, or you just want to, upload some classified news on the website, so it's, there for everybody to be able to see. So here, for example, we would have that on this section. Let me show you right here. So for example, if you just want to do some services as well, this is where you guys can like switch that. For example, this pet and amenities. If I want to go ahead and edit like the pet or park amenities we have for our community, I will just go here, click on this little pen right here, and I can edit the title, the icon, and the, whatever text or info I have from this in here. If I want to do classified, I can do them right here. I can even attach pictures to it. Or let's say you want to have one of these classifieds to be the link to the real estate that helps you with the rentals or the listings. You can just, create a new one, write down the title. So let's say listings and rentals. Put here all the information, the text. You can add some images as well, up to 6 attachments allowed. And you can also copy and paste the link of that website that will redirect them specifically to some real estate website that's helping you with the units. Right here, you click register and it's good to go. So it's pretty simple. Here we have on classified section, we changed it so that it could be the association board members information. So again, this is something that it's completely customizable. The contact us section and the social media as well. All these things are, again, completely customizable. We will train you all on how to change that. And as you see, it's super simple. You don't have to be a graphic designer to be able to change or edit a few things here and there. And now you would ask, okay, Laura, so this is the website. What about the documents? What about the meeting recordings? What about, these important things that we're also required to have, right? So these are going to be within this portal that I remember this is a password protected portal. So for documents, you will go here where it says documents, files, and you can, the visibility, this is permission based. So you can choose who is going to be able to view these documents, everyone, or just administrators, like, for example, this governing documents folder. And same thing with files per se. Also, if you want to know where are going to be the recordings of my board meetings, because condominiums are also required to have those meeting recordings for at least the past year. They're going to be here. Here at Vinteum, we have a full integration with Zoom, for example. So you can set up the Zoom meetings from here directly, and the system, as soon as the meeting is over and finished, the system will automatically upload both the recording and the transcript of that meeting in here. So at any time a resident or a board member asks you, hey, can I see the recording of this past board meeting we had or that you guys had? You can simply redirect them to the Neighbors portal, and they can see that everything here. So for example, this was a meeting we had on the 23rd of October, on October 23rd. So if I want to see the recording or the transcript, I will just hit this little eye icon here, and I can download both the transcript and the video so that I can have access to everything.
Laura?
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I'm just gonna
No, go ahead.
cut you. Because we have a question on just that, but I would like you to answer it live so we have like really crystal clear. So Lynn asks, does the portal support recordings of board meetings for residents to view anytime?
Yes, basically it's the same process right here. So as I mentioned, the Zoom is already integrated within our platform, and it's actually, so if you have like a membership already with Zoom, you can just cancel it if you do acquire Neighbors because it's already implemented here. And as I mentioned, so let's say we're having a board meeting here, as soon as I press finish meeting, the system by itself would upload the recording and the transcript. So that's going to be one task that you're not going to have to do. And you can just redirect residents or board members to see those recordings right here within the portal. So for example, I would just download this right here, and the transcript, and I can just view them on my own computer. So yeah, they will have
Okay.
access to it.
Thank you. Thank you. Denise also has a question. Can we put our unit for rent on this site?
Yes, you can. That's what the classifieds are basically for. So as they are completely customizable and editable, and maybe you can, let's say, uh, tell the whoever is in charge of doing this editing within the board or the property manager, hey, I have my unit here for rent. Can you upload a classified with my info so whoever goes into the website can contact me directly and so on? Absolutely. You can definitely do that. As I mentioned, you would just go here, or that the person in charge would just go to my site, let's say news, create a new one, and we have a unit for sale, contact this person. They will write down everything here. They can add images of how the unit looks like and post it. So
Okay,
yeah.
great. Thank you. So around that same area also, Felix asked, can owners give access to real estate agents to the portals for information gathering for sales?
That would be something that it will depend on how the board like I think that will be something that it would have to be spoken with either the board or the property manager, because it depends on how the community would feel if they have real estate agents having access to the portal or their website. So yeah, we can build profiles for different people. Actually, we've had communities that have like treasurer and accountant, people for management things, and they create profiles for them to have access to the portal. Obviously, they're permission based, so we can limit their permissions within the portal and the website. But I think that would have to be discussed first with the board or the property management company, and then we can help them out creating those profiles if they need to.
Yes, exactly. So last one for now. So Kirsten also asked, so wouldn't putting the property for rent on the site be up to the discretion of the board of directors?
Exactly. So I think that's also like it's something that yes, definitely we can do it on on our website builder and on our platform, but I think that has to be a filter, that it has to be first with whoever is in charge of the community.
Okay, yeah, I said it was the last one, but just really quickly because
No,
we
no,
were
go ahead.
talking about the recordings and Zoom. So, Bud asked, did I hear you say that your web/portal supports virtual video meetings just like Zoom?
Yeah, it does. And it uploads them automatically. So because again, Zoom is like a full integration into our system. So you can actually create the meetings through here. Let me show you real quick just so that you have an idea. So let's say I want to set up a board meeting for tomorrow. I will just click that plus symbol. I can just, put board meeting, type of meeting, meeting date. It's going to be online, add a description. I can even choose a contact group. So if I just want to do it for the full board, or if I want to do it for everybody, I can choose that. So it's really, useful for whenever you just want to have a meeting with just the board members. I can attach things here like images or documents and publish it. Once I publish it, the people that you chose to send this meeting to will get a notification and will see that meeting there on their portal, and they can just access directly through Neighbors. You guys will have the meeting, and again, as soon as the meeting is finished, the system will automatically upload everything to the portal here, as you see right here.
Great.
It obviously takes like a few minutes, especially depending on how long the meeting was, but it does it automatically. It does support it.
Thank you, Laura. Peggy, you can go ahead. Your hand's
Yes,
been raised
Peggy.
for a while. Sorry.
Okay, so I just want to point out a couple of things. First of all, the minutes now have to be on record on your website indefinitely. So this is another reason why you want to have an autonomous website, but you also want to create a link that would go from your website to your management portal so you can make payments. So this has been a big concern in the industry for a long time, past few years especially. And the other thing is, for all board members, don't forget you can't have a board meeting tomorrow, as Laura was suggesting as an example. You have to give a 14-day
Example, yeah.
notice. Okay. Now, you cannot have a board meeting without a quorum. You can also not just say old business and new business anymore on your agendas. You have to be specific on your agenda. So if you're going to talk about voting in, let's just say to use Vinteum as a website, or, ABC website, you have to put it onto the agenda prior to the 14 days. So when the meeting is announced, it has the full agenda with all of the items that you're going to discuss. Okay, so I just want to make that really clear so you're not in violation. So to recap, the two separate websites, one with the link to your portal for your management company, can be put onto your independent website. Okay. And minutes have to be kept indefinitely. So this also protects you with your minutes too. Just lastly, this is my personal opinion. I highly have you discuss with your attorney whether you want to allow real estate people to get on your site, because you have to also remember to remove them from your site, and you don't want to have any opportunity for fraud to come into your website. So not to say anything against anybody, but just protect your site at all of your best interests at all times. So I do not recommend you include any realtors. They can get the information directly from the resident, or they can get the information from the board members. So that's it.
Thank you, Peggy. Yes. So that will be basically it for it. We also, as Peggy mentioned earlier in the meeting, within the portal is where you're going to have basically also the e-voting that we have here as well. We call it board elections, but it does comply to the e-voting as well. The documents, the meetings. If you have amenities and you want your residents to book things through there, you can also have it there, and you can also take payments through here as well, right here. So it's basically just, again, the website is more for information, listings, rentals, to comply of, obviously, if you're within the state of Florida. And then the portal is more a place for managing your community and keeping everybody engaged. So I think now we can continue with the rest of the questions. So this is your time, guys. If you have any inquiries or want to clear things up, you can send them right now through the Q&A box.
Just one more thing, though. Let me interject that as far as taking payments on an independent website, it's kind of a responsibility that will come back to the board if those payments are not posted properly through the management company or the banking system. So I don't recommend you taking payments through an independent website unless you are self-managed. Okay. If you have a bank or a management company, you want to continue to have your payments go directly to their payment portals. So you might have to add a payment portal, let's say from an accounting company or a management company, from the independent website. So they can just click on it. Usually they have it at the top or the bottom, the right side, or somewhere very obvious where it'll say on there, make payments through this portal, not through the website, your independent website. It'll be through the banking system. So that's a very huge point why you want to connect to the portal for payments.
Yes, thank you so much, Peggy. That is really insightful. Laura, so I'm just gonna go ahead and read the questions as I see them here in the Q&A chat.
Of course.
Okay, so Kirsten asks, thank you for your time and information. What is the protocol with the management company setting up the condo association website and then you change management companies? How do we regain the ownership of the domain name?
So that's so it depends. For example, I know that when you have a property management company that creates a website for you, hopefully they are just managing the domain. They're not owning the domain. So let's say you tell them, oh, I'm changing companies or we're becoming self-managed. They could give you it's usually like a code or a QR code that they give you, so that whoever is going to be the new provider or whoever is going to be the new property management company can take that domain into theirs, and you can, continue managing that domain through the new ones. That's how we usually do it here, and as most of the times I've seen they do it. But that will be a process that obviously you would have to ask them first of how that transfer goes. But that's how it usually goes. It's honestly not a complicated process at all. It just requires, to have that code that most providers do, like examples, Wix or GoDaddy. They just give you a code and then you transfer to whoever is going to be the new provider to manage the domain.
Okay, great. Thank you, Laura. We also have a question from Jeremy. He asks where the documents are stored. Do I need a server for backup to back up my meetings?
No. So the documents in the meetings, as you mentioned, are going to be completely stored in our cloud, which has, a very trustful SSL taking care of everything. We use SSL that most US banks and even Amazon uses. We have never had any inconveniences of communities losing their info or having someone entering into their portal out of nowhere. That doesn't happen. And also we have, depending on like how you like which plan you acquire, if you decide to go with Vinteum, we have unlimited storage. So we understand that a lot of your communities, and also as Peggy mentioned, need to have those records, like for 7 years past indefinitely. So you need to, have a lot of space, especially if you have a lot of units and so on. So they're going to be stored in our cloud, and we do have unlimited storage, so you don't need to have them stored, let's say, on your computer's memory or something like that.
Okay, great. Also, we have a question that just came in from Jessica. She says, we are a POA and we have 36 sub-associations under us. How can we create a website that we can get all our information to them without having to create a portal for all the units?
Let me review that real quick because I think, okay, so okay. So when you say you have 36 sub-associations, like you have 36 communities under your POA, I'm guessing. So what, like, the thing is that the portal has to be like, you wouldn't have to, like, basically you cannot create one portal for all communities, because that would mean that all communities will have access to all communities information, and that's something that we don't want to do. We don't want to share, let's say, financials or resident information, personal information with other communities out there. So we do have a specific, when I did this training, and when I'm showing you the portal and the website, I'm doing it as a one community. We do have some specific, let's say, structure and processes that we do when we work with property management companies, because we understand that they need to have access to, and they need to give portals to all of their associations or all of the communities. So what we do is that let's say, if you are a property manager for, let's say, this 36 associations, and you want to have access to all of their portals, we would give you like a master administrator access, so that when you log in with your credentials into the portal, you and only you can have access to all of those communities at once, because you're the one who is managing them. But that wouldn't mean that that the residents from Association B will have access to Association C. It's only you as a master administrator. That's what we can do. We can create that master administrator profile for you to have access to all the community's portals.
Yes, so exactly like Laura said, we usually like to say here at Vinteum that is one login for everything. So as a property manager, like Laura said, you can just log in one time and have access to all of the communities that you manage, but they won't have access to each other, obviously. But that is what makes us such like a great company and amongst the market and everything, because you can have everything in one place organized, but it won't overlap the communities as well. So let me see another question here for Laura.
Mhm.
Is payment of quarterly HOA dues only permitted to be completed on a property management portal?
It doesn't specifically have to be through a property management portal, because we have self-managed communities out there that, as we say, they're self-managed. They just need to have a secure portal where the residents can process the payments. So let's make this example. Let's say you are a self-managed community that acquires Vinteum services and Vinteum platform. We do provide a secure password-protected portal where residents can be able to do the payments through that portal. They're saved. They're done through. We have an integration with QuickBooks. Most accountants and treasurers know this software, and that's how it would go. Like what the regulations are mostly for is for these payments to be in a secure portal. So of course, credit card, debit cards, or accounts from your residents, or even your account as an association, doesn't get any type of you know doesn't get affected by some external people going into this portal if it's not safe and so on. So it's not a requirement that it has to be specifically through a property management company portal because, again, there are self-managed communities out there that they just want to have a secure portal. So as long as you have a secure portal like ours, password protected, with good SSLs, you're good to go.
Thank you so much, Laura. We also had another question from Conrad. We are a self-managed single-family homes community. How can the software help me manage the daily affairs?
Great. Thank you, Karen. That's a great question. So we do work a lot with we have a lot of our customers being self-managed communities, and they bring us a lot of problems, let's say, or pain points, let's say, where they they have everything in paper, or they don't know how to efficiently communicate with residents. Some of them have a lot of issues with the service request, like maintenance requests, or even with the processes of violations. So having this type of tools, Conrad, what it does is that it puts everything in one single portal, so that communications, documents, meetings, everything is just done in one single page. So, for example, we have an omni-channel communication tool that works really well in Florida, especially for this the hurricane season, where you want to reach your residents on real time. So it sends, you can do a smart call, text messages to them from the portal, actually, to all of them at once. We have also an application, so they can, download that application, have their portal on their phone. So it really makes everything easier, especially with the documents. It makes your job a lot more efficient and productive, because you're gonna be wasting time on long processes, or answering everybody on one same inbox. You're gonna have a feature for everything, for service requests, for incidents reporting, for documents, for reservations if your community has amenities, for communications, etc.
Thank you, Laura. That was great. Um, we also have a question from Edward. He says it's a big one, so I would recommend you opening the chat also to follow along. How does the system handle a case where the community allows rentals subject to strict rules, then an owner creates a rental listing in the classified section which violates those rules? Can the association remove the improper listing from the portal, or does it have to rely on the owner to do so after receiving a violation notice from the board?
So I remember this access to the portal, it's permission-based profiles. So that means that, let's say the residents' profiles are not going to have the same permissions as administrators. So the only ones who are going to be able to, let's say, send communications, approve a reservation, post classified listings or rentals on the website, make changes on the website, are going to be administrators, meaning either the property manager or the board members. So residents won't be able to do those changes. And those profile permissions are we create them here at Vinteum based on what the board or the property managers tell us. So a resident wouldn't be able to do that because they won't have the permissions to do that. They'd have to run it first through you as administrator.
Very good. Thank you. Peggy, you had your hand raised. Please go ahead. No? Oh, okay.
No.
Sorry. Okay, so Kirsten also asked, is there redundant backup in a separate location for the information you store in the cloud?
Yes, we do daily backups here also at the company. So if anything happens, we do daily backups. Again, we have never had any inconvenience through on these 11 years we've been in business, but we do backups daily for all of our community's information and history.
Yes, Peggy, please go ahead.
Okay, sorry, I thought of it. There was a comment made in the chat box that Vinteum only has a 30-minute time on your Zoom meetings. Is that correct, or how do you extend that?
What do you mean, like on like as a
Board
demo
meeting.
or no, it's not. We have a business level Zoom integration with Zoom. So that means your meeting can last up to 4 hours if you want, and there could be 300 people within the Zoom if you want to. So yeah, you wouldn't have any problems with that because our integration is a business level integration.
Okay, thank
Yeah.
you, Peggy, for pointing that out. Thank you, Laura. I think we went through all of the questions. Thank you guys for staying with us for these little over 12 minutes that we went. Oh, wait, we got another one. So Martha asked, how can I obtain a quote and more details of the portal? You can go ahead, Laura.
Sorry, guys, I was muted. Yes, absolutely. I think it was not just Martha. I was looking at it, and I saw other people were asking for quotas or how much would it be for my community. We are going to send you guys, and I'm also going to send you my information. Again, I'm a sales executive here, so I'll be more than glad to take a look at your community. What is it that you guys are looking for? What is it that you guys need so that I can, we can discuss about it. I can show you a little bit more about the portal, about how everything works, and make a quoting for based on your community, on your needs, and on the units you guys have. So please, I'll be sending you my info through the chat and also on the email that I will send you after this webinar, so you can contact me directly. Feel free to contact me, you guys. I'll be more than happy to help you out with that.
Yes, just as Laura mentioned, I just want to compliment. We got Lisa saying me too. Thanks. Yes, Lisa, we saw yours and everybody else's questions and requests on the Q&A. And like Laura said, we will be reaching out to you guys. We are gonna get in contact with you, and Laura will take her time and prepare something really special to fit your community specific needs. So I'm just saying, oh, wait, I think we have another question. Just let's make it the last one so we don't go over it too much. Thank you guys for your patience. As an owner of a unit condo, I think I am allowed to go in the website.
Yeah, I mean, everybody can go into the public facing website to visit it, but to edit or add information or, post things, it's more of like either the board members or the administrators. So I think that's why, that's basically the proper protocol to follow. You first talk to your board members or your property manager in order to, again, let's say list your unit if that's what you want. So yeah, that's how it basically works for most associations that we work with.
Yes. Okay, great. So Denise, I also saw that you would like us to contact you. Yes, we will. Just saying that out loud. So you guys know we have your information, and we be reaching out to you guys as soon as we can. Okay, so I'm gonna close it out. Peggy, do you have any last comments?
Yes, I just want to tell everybody that I highly recommend Vinteum, mainly because the number one thing that sold me to even work with them, and I've been working with Vinteum for going on 6 years now as my IT support, is that they're always available and they will help each board member individually or as a group walk through each step. So let's say you set up today, you go on vacation, you don't use it for a month or so, you can go back 6 months later and they will help you walk through the various steps of your website. So very important that you have a lot of communication available and that excuse me, that their team will support you when you need it as well. So I thought that was just an awesome feature of your product, and as well as the affordability. I know you can't really say anything about pricing because you have to know the details of the communities, but over the various communities that I've known in the past 3 or 4 years of helping link associations to Vinteum, the pricing is just so affordable and reasonable. So those are the reasons why I support you. I'm not saying anyone else out there doesn't have a good product. I'm just saying that, this is why I stick with you, and I appreciate your private presentation here today. I also want to thank my board members for coming on today. There is no CEU credit today, but I want to commend the board members that are on today for just getting more education and more information about the associations in general. And with that, I'll just say thank you very much.
Yes, thank you so much, Peggy, for such nice words. We are really
Thank you so
grateful
much.
for your partnership and grateful for everybody that turned out here and wanted to learn with us. Thank you for your time. Thank you for your patience with us going forward, like a little bit over the time. We will be in contact. Thank you so much for our sponsors also, and see you guys on the next webinar. Bye.
Thank you so
Bye-bye.
much, guys. Bye bye.